Well, I've done a lot of research on Indian history, not as a historian or individual at a college, but as a writer. And I had picked up The Last Algonquin before I met Phil Moyer. And I hadn't read it yet. So when you told me that you had the book and that you were going to try to find a way to get it filmed, I read the book, and I've read hundreds of books about Indian history, but I've never read anything quite as remarkable as The Last Algonquin. I think the most incredible thing about it is that a young white boy carries everyone who reads the book back in history, not through writing, not through old pictures, but he actually experiences a return in history that goes many, many, many years back. And what he learns from going back in history, and what all of us could learn through reading and viewing, is something remarkable and something so memorable that this would be the kind of film that has the potential to last for decades, rather than just something entertaining that you see and jump out to the next theater. So I think The Last Algonquin has incredible potential to impact people not only in America, but throughout the world. There's nothing ever been done like The Last Algonquin, and that would be a remarkable achievement. One of the things that's really great about the book to me is that adapting it for a film requires a lot of work, because the book isn't a film. Right. So you have to reverse a lot of stuff, but at the same time, you have to follow the book very, very directly. So I would begin the screenplay with Two Trees and Cain being, after he was horribly injured, and them in the water being totaled out, and Cain biting his hand, and him realizing, oh my God, I can walk up here, and then him going to see his parents and saying, I'm back, you know, and start it off with that, and then have the young boy coming out and looking around and discovering him, and then learning about what happened to him, you know, as you go through the whole thing. So I think that would be a great way to start a film. Writer. Well, I'm just looking at it from the point of view of showing, without people knowing what happened to him, that he's in deep trouble.
Who he is and where he's at.
Yeah, but they wouldn't even know who he is, except he's some kind of Indian, you know. But that would come as things go further along, right? You know,
as the story unfolds.
And yes, because if you start with somebody being an Indian, you say, oh, there's an Indian, then everybody has a preconceived definition of what this person is. But if you start with just a person, and you find out as you go along that this guy is the last Algonquin, and this is what happened to him, then you're more connected with him. Then you're oh, I know this guy because I saw what happened to him, you know, in the very beginning. That was incredible, you know. So you get the audience to go from the very beginning saying, this isn't about an Indian necessarily. This is about a guy on the planet and what happened to him. And then as you go along, the more Indian stuff comes in. Entertainment value for films is the majority of films. But despite The Last Algonquin having the capacity to be incredibly realistic and to leave people with feelings and thoughts that they can carry through their whole life, there is a certain degree of entertainment in it because it involves a very young white boy who's a Boy Scout, and it involves the Last Algonquin, and they come together. And the Last Algonquin, in telling the story of his life and how everything worked out, there are moments there where you would have to call it entertainment, even though there's no real comedy. It's entertaining in the sense that you get to follow the life of an individual that no one has ever followed before. And in just doing that, in just seeing what this individual goes through, whether bad or good, it doesn't matter. This unique person, the Last Algonquin, what he goes through his period of life on earth is amazing, what he's able to do. And that is where the entertainment would come from.